Hello everyone, my name is Daniel Galindo, responsible for interactives at Traulux. And in this video, I want to show you what I have here in my hands, an OPS module. OPS means that it has a format suitable to be inserted into a modern interactive monitor. Until now, these modules were Windows. The novelty of this video is that I show you the first OPS module certified by Google, a certification called Google LDAP, which will give you the possibility of using the interactive monitor under a very familiar, very intuitive ecosystem, because in reality it is something very similar to the use of a tablet or a smartphone. Doesn't that sound interesting? Stay and I will explain the main features of this module. This interactive monitor we have here is from the standard series of Traulux, interactive monitors that do not have an operating system on the mainboard. That way, the user is free to configure it to their liking. You can add a Windows or Google LDAP OPS, like the one we are using in this video, or even don't put any OPS module and connect an external device. May it be a laptop that I connect through the front connections here, HDMI and several USB ports, or a computer that is fixed, that is in the classroom or office, and that I can connect using the connections the base has. On all devices with the Google LDAP certification, you will see a common component, which is this one here, access to Google Workspace. This is designed by Google and cannot be modified. Some other pre-installed applications with these modules are from the manufacturer itself. Also, there are monitors with the certification on the mainboard itself and don't need an external OPS. We at Traulux have chosen this option as we believe it to be the most scalable. In the future, when there are more powerful versions of Android, we can simply change the OPS module, and it won't be necessary to change the entire pen display to keep up with new versions. In the case of our OPS, the first piece of advice we're going to give you is to go to Settings or Configuration and modify in the System part what in English is called the Launcher scheme, which in Spanish would be the desktop scheme, to this one here. This presentation is the right one for them to use on a pen display. Now remember that the OPS module can also be used on a personal desktop monitor and as a personal device. You just need a keyboard and mouse and you already have there your personal device with the Google ecosystem. On the other hand, this other presentation for pen displays has something very important, which gives you access to the floating icon. Super useful when you're using pen displays. You can create an annotation layer and choose the right color. This annotation layer will always overlay any projected image. You can create a QR code to share. You don't need to be on the same Wi-Fi network. I can scan this QR code even when I'm outside and I'll take a quick screenshot. The floating icon has other really useful functions. For instance, if I have multiple apps open, we can start a video conference here. I can go back to home straight from here. I'll open another one. I can only open Chrome, for example. I'm going to home more apps. From the floating icon itself, you could activate active mode. This is so handy to navigate among the active apps, stop some if I want, or directly go to one and focus on it. And if we go to the end, we can close them all at once, something that is highly recommended to free up RAM. Obviously, since this is an interactive monitor, it is essential for it to have a whiteboard application pre-installed, as is the case. We are already very used to these whiteboards. They can write in various colors and erase directly with the palm of the hand. If I directly click on the active button on the floating icon, I'll discover another option, which is the split. This will allow us to work with two applications simultaneously. I can have the whiteboard here and continue making notes, while on the other side of the interactive monitor I can navigate and make notes. I can give more prominence to Chrome or the whiteboard. Then directly from the floating icon, I can go back to the home screen. Indeed, being a Google device, everything is developed to work in the cloud, but there are many users who still prefer to use a USB key and keep their files local. If that's the case, I simply need to insert it into one of its front entrances. And here's a tip for you, because to open it, I have to find the local file explorer. But look at what I'm going to do now. This will happen with any application. If I hold it down, it will give me the option of placing a shortcut on the home screen. And I find this really useful. Simply by clicking here, I can access that USB drive and open one of my presentation files. Here, I'm using WPS, an Office file reader that I downloaded from the Play Store. It didn't come pre-installed, and I highly recommend it because it works incredibly well. I can open it directly, and now I can manipulate the file. In this case, it is an Excel file. I could even make notes. You see how quick this is? I could delete them, and I can navigate through the file in this way. The file. To get the most out of this Google device, obviously I have to log into my Google account and be able to work everything in the cloud. One of the very important things to keep in mind, look, I'm going to go here now to Settings. If you don't want the password to show while you're entering it, I advise you to go first to Privacy and disable Show Password. Then you go a little further down, Passwords and Accounts, and here at the end you can add as many accounts as you need. I use a wireless keyboard. Let's activate one more account and that's it. Notice that now the password isn't showing even for a millisecond. Once I have entered it, I'll see that any of the Google applications that I open will give me the option to choose which of the users I want to have activated. Later, when I finish my presentation, if I want to log out of my account, I'll have to go back to Password and Account Settings again and choose it. Another great advantage of these Google EDLA modules is that they're compatible with all video conferencing systems present on the projector. It's pretty straightforward, but it's unusual to see a device of this size with the open option of being able to video conference with the system we want. Video conferencing. You can install any of these, and once it's installed, I have it here. In Teams, for example, Zoom. Well, that wraps up our introductory video of our Traulux OPS Google EDLA module. Of course, the possibilities within the Google Workspace are endless. We've included our contact information in the video description so you can ask us anything you need. And if you liked the video, I hope to see you in other videos that we'll create.